Is the Coach Jay Show. Your all-access pass to Auburn women's basketball with head coach Johnnie Harris. Live from Baumhower's Victory Grill in Auburn. With Coach Jay, here's the voice of Auburn women's basketball, Britt Bowen.
Well, winning is a tremendous feeling, especially in the SEC. After last night's win over Missouri, I'm of the opinion that road wins are the best feeling. Auburn women's basketball returns home with their first SEC road win of the year. The Tigers get set for a big week. Thursday, Auburn is back home for the first time in 2 weeks to host Kentucky. Sunday, Auburn makes the return trip to Tuscaloosa for a meeting with Alabama. Tonight, we'll talk about it all and more on the Coach Jay Show here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another Coach Jay Show out here at Baumhower's. Welcome into our viewers tuning in live on the Auburn Tigers YouTube channel, and alongside our on-site producer, Wes Todd, I'm Britt Bowen. Auburn head coach Johnnie Harris is with us here tonight to recap yesterday's win. Yesterday's win in Missouri was the second SEC win where Auburn never trailed this season. We will get Coach Jay's insight on the win, her thoughts on some key performers and the week ahead. Following Coach Jay, two Tiger freshmen will make their debut on the Coach Jay Show tonight. Yakiya Milton of Jacksonville, Florida will join us, followed by Timya Thurman of Linden, Alabama. Both of these ladies have increased roles in the last 2 weeks of play. Last up on the show tonight is Tigers associate head coach Damitria Buchanan. We'll talk recruiting, Auburn post play, and we'll also get a scout on the Wildcats and maybe take a look back at the Crimson Tide as well. It's a packed show tonight, and thank you for joining us here at Baumhower's and on YouTube. Without further ado, let's welcome in our head coach, Tigers head coach Johnnie Harris. Coach War Eagle, thank you for being here.
War Eagle.
How was that flight home last night, Coach, after a dub?
It was a good flight, but it was a long, bumpy flight.
It was a lot. Had a little weather.
We had a little weather.
Listen, I knew,
had a little delay.
Had a delay, had some weather, but we got here safe. And when the pilot said last night that we were going to have some turbulence, I said, you know what? I'm going to pull the Roger Dorn from Major League, the movie back in the 80s. I'm just going to close my eyes and hope for the best. It turned out okay.
Absolutely. I said a couple of prayers, and it did turn out okay.
Well, and we got home just in time. I pulled up at the house just in time for the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. You told me on the postgame show yesterday that you were going with the Chiefs. Worked out pretty good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I was able to get there about that same time, and man, what about that overtime? It was a really good game, and that's what you want. You want a really good game.
It was, and we had a really good game yesterday in Missouri, home of the Kansas City Chiefs. Auburn took down Missouri 70-59 yesterday, Coach. It was, most importantly, it was just good to get that monkey off our back on the road and to put that behind you because, again, with what's to come, Auburn's got some favorable matchups where if you show up, Coach, good things can happen for your ball club.
Absolutely, and we've been so close on the road. So just for them to be able to come out and execute in the fourth quarter and actually have a lead going into the fourth quarter and extend that lead into the fourth quarter was really good, and it's growth for this team. This team is still a work in progress. We're still, playing a lot of young players, and they're getting that experience, and they're growing, they're learning. And, the thing about this team is I believe they're resilient because even after a tough loss, they come back and they go to work. They're in the gym. They're not shooting well. They're still in the gym. So you have to believe that it's going to happen for them.
Well, what I love, too, is like players that have had or haven't had maybe a large role in games in recent weeks have stepped up out of the blue. Like yesterday, McKenna Eddings, Yakiya Milton. We'll have a chance to talk to Yakiya later on in the show. I was so proud of those young ladies because they stepped up when their name was called, and they're two big reasons why Auburn was able to pull away in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely, and with McKenna, a lot of times when you're deemed a shooter, if your shot's not falling, then you get your head down. But her shot was falling. She hit some key buckets for us, but she also guarded. She guarded that four player. I was able to play her at the four, and I've done that before, but I really didn't. We didn't prepare for that going into this game. But, she's a kid that when her number is called, she's going to be ready to play regardless. So I was really proud of her. Kai had been battling some illness, and when, she had a good week of preparation. And so, again, we were able to call her number, and she produced for us. She played some key moments against a team who's hard to guard. It was a really tough matchups for our bigs, and so we needed somebody that could switch out with the guard and be able to guard on the perimeter and also run the floor, because those guards were trying to run our bigs.
I remember watching you all. You invited me to practice one day in the preseason. You said, hey, you got to come out and see us. I got some new kids I want you to see. And I walked out, or I sat on the first couple rows behind the bench. Coach, I was just scanning the floor and seeing who we had out there and who were some new faces that I needed to learn. And my eyes got locked in on Yakiya. I was like, who is this kid? Who is this 6'4" out there that can shoot, had a nice little jumper, and also could guard the basketball? And I dream of the day that she's had a summer in the gym, able to develop, because we've seen this year how valuable that can be. And I say that just because of Owen. Owen is so much improved because she had a summer in the gym, Coach.
Absolutely. And Kai, those freshmen that came in this year and the junior college transfers, those kids came in and we immediately had to get them in shape. So we didn't get a chance to work on a lot of skill like we normally do. We had to work on getting them in shape and getting them a little bit stronger because we were going overseas to play. So this summer was a little bit different. They will be able to have a good postseason, a good summer, and then a good preseason going into next year. And that's, a lot of times the summer between your freshman and sophomore year is your biggest growth on the basketball court. So I'm really excited about working with those kids this summer.
With the roles on the team and the depth that Auburn has, no question Auburn's depth has improved this year. We've seen it every single game. How do you all as a coaching staff, and how do the teammates in honesty and the upperclassmen approach roles in the conversation with the full team? Because you look at the top, Mingo and Honesty are typically your two leaders, 9 in and 9 out. And that's been consistent. But that third, fourth contributor is sometimes the difference in winning and losing a ball game. Not that those two kids can't make mistakes, right. I just mentioned, but role players are so important. How do you all approach that just in terms of saying, hey, everyone's capable, we all have to step up? Because when it's happened this year, Auburn women's basketball is a tough team to beat when you're playing in sync like that.
Absolutely, and I think that comes with the closeness of this team. This team is very unselfish, and I say that all the time, and it started with Honesty. It started with Mingo. It started with Taylor.
Sure.
Taylor is a kid that, we don't talk about a whole lot, but we don't win without her contribution. She's tough. She guards the 3, 4, 5. She can switch out with the point guard if we need her to. She's our leading rebounder. Just a kid that shows up every day. But that's what you need.
And to your point about Taylor, I was so impressed with her last week after Arkansas. That was a tough game for her. It had some tough shots down the stretch that just didn't go her way. But after the game, she does not let it impact how she carries herself. She doesn't let it impact how she treats other people. That's not just a sign of maturity. That's a sign of leadership, Coach. That's something you can't coach.
It is, and she gets in the gym.
Yeah.
So she gets in the gym. She knows what her weaknesses are and were in that game, and she gets in and she works on them. She's just a great kid with a big upside. She's a kid that I believe we're going to try to get back for next year, and probably got some recruiting to do there. But
sure.
I think her best basketball is ahead of her. Again, she's not a kid that we were able to, just focus on her skills coming into this year, but we'll have a postseason, a summer, and a preseason to be able to work with her, and I think she's going to she's just going to get better and better. But yes, everybody on this team I just feel like this team is very unselfish, and I think because of that, we have an opportunity every night, and it's an opportunity for, number 3, 4, 5 to step up.
Well, and for Auburn last night against Missouri, it starts with defense every single game. I hate to seem like a broken record, Coach, but when you start the game on a 9-0 run as you did, you go 4 or 5 shooting, most of those opportunities were created by your defense, and I thought it was your backcourt that provided that pressure for you. Break down the matchups early in terms of how you were able to disrupt Missouri, because their guards were uncomfortable early before they settled in.
They were very uncomfortable. We were pressuring the guards. We kind of played off the point guard a little bit because she's not typically someone that shooted a lot, so we kind of played off of her a lot, but we denied everybody else. We pressured everybody else, and we kind of helped a little bit with her man, with Mingo, and Mingo is a really smart defender, so she was able to get that done. And I just thought it just kind of threw them off a little bit. We were able to switch 2 through 5. I thought, Scotty had a hard time. They subbed pretty quick and brought a guard in, and then she had a hard time keeping up with that guard. So that's why we were able to bring in Yakiya, and Yakiya was able to, she's a little bit different big that can guard a guard. And so that's why she's so important, which, once that kid get healthy and get a little bit stronger and get in the gym, she's going to be so much better.
Well, for Tiger fans that were not able to watch the second half yesterday, Missouri came back and tied Auburn in the third quarter. Auburn had to play some defense and had to step up the offense a little bit too. Auburn had the perfect storm, had a big fourth quarter, but the defensive stops in the fourth quarter by Yakiya Milton. I don't know if you're able to go on those runs without Yakiya on the floor. Not only that, Coach, she knocked down some big free throws for you.
She did knock down some big free throws, both in the first and the second half. And her defense, yes, like she's able to catch up, and you might get by her because she's long and because she can jump and do a lot of different things. You're never out of her reach. So she was able to block a couple of shots. She was able to bother people. She was able to get out and contest shots. So, and that's what we needed in a ball game like that yesterday.
Free throw shooting was huge for Auburn, and this is another area where I'm proud of how your team responded, because I thought free throws was the difference in the loss at Arkansas last week. You come back this week on the road again. You shoot 13 of 15, 87%. You had freshmen stepping up making free throws. Honesty in a physical game, a game where she got knocked around a little bit, still managed to go 7 for 7, and that's, again, another sign of maturity of trending in the right direction.
I tell you what, the practice after Arkansas, we come in the gym, I put them through a pressure free throw drill. So if they don't make their free throw, the whole team have to run. Everybody except one person made their free throw. Everybody. And I'm like, you guys are a really good free throw shooting team.
Sure.
So I just told them, when you go up there, you have 10 seconds, and they know this. But, sometimes you forget about that when you're in the moment. So I told them, I want everybody to take as much of that 10 seconds and get yourself together before you shoot that free throw. And I mean, 13 out of 15.
Your squad, obviously younger kids, and the further I'm out of college, I feel like the more separated I get in terms of understanding them and how they think. Do they realize how close they are? Because I have our fans come up to me all the time, Britt, we're right there, and on the road, like, we do one thing different, we win, which, is the things we all say. But the women on this team, do they realize after what they did against LSU, Alabama, the consistency that they've shown this year, the little things is a difference?
The little things are a difference, and we preach that to them. And the thing about these kids is, when you tell them that, they go to work on those things.
Yeah.
And so that's why they are getting better. And once they put it all together, and a lot of times when you have a team like that, like I said, you want it all to come. You see them beat a LSU, and now you think, okay, they should be number 5 team in the country because they just beat. Well, it doesn't really work like that. They're growing and they're getting better, but, they still have to go through those growing pains. And, it's hard. It's hard for us because we know they can do it. We know the things they can do, but they still, they're kids. They're going to slip up a little bit. And so the thing that you want is you want this team to grow, to continue to grow, to continue to get better, and to learn from their mistakes. And I really feel like this team is doing that.
The one Achilles heel, I know it seems like Auburn has had at least the last couple of weeks, is that third quarter for whatever reason. And it seems like it's more mental than it is game plan, because I see the game plan. I hear the game plan as I did yesterday sitting next to the bench. I know it's there. I know the pieces are there. Where's that disconnect been for you? Because I did have somebody ask me tonight if we could just skip halftime the next game and just go right on. I told them I would ask. I didn't know where to go.
And I don't think they come out thinking, okay, we're not going to
play
hard.
Third quarter, sure.
And they are playing hard. It's just little simple mistakes that we're making, like we've been going over the screens all night long, and then all of a sudden we'll go under and they'll make a three, and it's like, okay, so it's like everybody have to be on point. Everybody have to play. You can cover some mistakes, but you're not going to cover them all. They're going to make threes, but last night they made a ton of them in the third quarter, as did Arkansas. And so we've got to fix that. And I think a lot of it is our transition D. I think when teams go in at halftime and they figure out they can't score against us, so they have to go to something else. And normally it's a quick screen in transition, which is hard to defend. So that's just something we have to continue to work on.
Solid day shooting for Auburn, 43% yesterday. And Auburn this year, for reference, is 13-0 when you shoot 40% or better. My question is, Coach, not every day, especially in this league with the defense that you'll play, not every day you're going to shoot 40%. Most teams don't. How, as a coach, do you overcome that and try to create and win the game on the defensive end in those games?
And you do. You try to create turnovers. You try to get to the basket. You try to get free throws. Our goal, and we don't always accomplish this goal, but our goal is to make more free throws than other teams shoot. So that's one of our goals every night. So you have to create other opportunities to score. But I thought last night the other problem in the third quarter was that I thought we took some quick shots, quicker than we were taking in the first and the second quarter. So having to pull them back in and say, hey, let's not shoot the ball until we flip the floor unless you have a wide open layup. So we've been just trying to corral them a little bit more in that third quarter, and I thought that was what not let Vanderbilt run away with it. We still had to make them guard. We still had to use some clock. So, and a lot of times that goes with experience, and we don't have a lot of experience playing together.
Yeah.
So that's been a little bit of an issue for us. But like I said, it is getting better.
Kenna's highlight yesterday. On had a lot of highlights. I think Auburn as a team had some good highlights. Marshawn took one coast to coast yesterday. That was fun. But Kenna's pump fake pass pull up three was that to me was the dagger of the ball game. What was that energy like on the bench? It happened 2 feet in front of you.
Oh yeah, it was big, and I knew she was gonna make that shot because she do it all the time.
Sure.
So I knew she was gonna make that shot, and she had a really good week of preparation. Yeah. She was in the gym every day. Every time I looked up, she was in the gym with her headphones on, and it showed in practice. Both she and Sydney. Sydney didn't make as many shots. I thought she passed up a couple that she had been hitting in practice, but I thought they had a really good week of preparation, and I thought they focused a little bit more on their defense than they did on their offense, which kind of helped them out.
Does that take pressure off of them on the offensive end when you're not thinking so much of, hey, I got to hit this shot, I'm a sharpshooter?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they think, okay, I'm wide open, I'm at the three, I got to take this shot. But no, if that shot is early, and we can get that shot a little bit later.
Yeah.
Now, there's times when we're running in transition and, things are flowing and, I want them to take that shot. But then there's times when I don't want them to take that shot. And we put them through enough practices and situations to where they know when and when not to take that shot. I think that part is getting better for us.
Mingo had a quiet double-double yesterday, 10 points, 11 rebounds. Honesty again, those two have just been so consistent. Mingo is not so much worried about scores. She's doing what she has to do to help this team win. Honesty, on the other hand, right now she's just getting more of the shots. They're falling, and it's helping Auburn. Coach, where would this team be without those two? Because, again, and I don't mean just statistics. I see them day to day and how much their teammates respect them. Mingo, to me, is one of the most respected players that's walked into an Auburn locker room in the last several years.
She is, and I tell you, I think she changed what our team looks like as far as a confidence, as far as physical, as far as being competitive. You know, that kid is a competitor, and I think she has brought it out. Taylor Collins is a competitor,
Yeah.
and I think they have brought that out in the rest of these players, because if you don't come prepared for them to in practice, you won't get beat. You'll get embarrassed.
Well, and for Mingo and Talon too, those two expect to win. Expecting to win is half the battle in this league. Now you get your first SEC road win. How important is it to learn how to win and to trend up at the right time? Because, again, I was so excited with yesterday's win. Coming back home against Kentucky on Thursday night. That one won't be easy. No game is. But if you take care of business, you're putting yourself in position to play in those meaningful games you want to play in this time of year.
Absolutely. You know, that is really important. And the mindset is big, especially when you have a team like this. Their mindset going into those games, expecting to win those games, going into preparation, going into practice, you know, preparing to win those games. I think it your mindset kind of shifts. You know, sometimes you don't know, but I think it's kind of started a little bit before. I think it started with the Tennessee game. You know, when those kids came back, they expected to win that ball game.
Yeah.
And I think they've been coming to practice. That's why we've been in pretty much every ball game, every conference game we have been in, with the exception of the third quarter at Texas A&M. I feel like we've been in every ball game. So, but it comes with preparation. It comes with expecting to win those ball games and their preparation.
Quickly, Coach, just thoughts on the SEC. We've seen a large sample size over halfway through conference play this year. SEC is tough, 9 in and 9 out. Most of these games are a coin flip. How fun is it to coach in this league this year?
It is fun. I mean, you're coaching against some of the best players and the best coaches in this league. So this league is going to make you better. You're coaching and you playing night in, night out, and even in practice. You know, you're being challenged in practice. So, you know, it's really big. It's really fun. This is a great league. You know, it's a good league that prepares you for the next level. And that's whether the next level in the WNBA, the next level overseas, or in your professional life.
Well, you got the Play for K game. We've got to wear pink on Thursday against Kentucky. Coach, I know you coached with Coach K some in your career. You've crossed paths. What's this game mean to you, and also the women's basketball community to come out and support a cause like this?
You know, it means a lot, and actually Kay Yao gave me my first Division I assistant coach's job. You know, she was a mentor. You know, she felt like I was somebody that was similar to her at that juncture in my life, in my coaching career, you know, with a soft voice. And you know, I remember her words to me was, don't let anybody tell you because you have a soft voice. Now, I know sometimes now it doesn't seem like I have a soft voice.
You didn't have a soft voice yesterday. I had to turn the crowd mic down because a couple of times yesterday I was like, hey, I can't hear. I gotta get this out.
But
let me turn it down.
Coaching, I had a soft voice, and you know, sometimes you're unsure about, you know, having to yell, and you know, when you see other coaches. But she, you know, like she told me, you just be who you are. You don't have to try to be like anybody else. She had a soft voice, but was very impactful. Her practices were so intense, and she was just so good and just a good person.
Well, you talk about being who you are. You being who you are, owning your personality as a coach, I think is what's gotten Yakiya Milton and Timya Thurman to Auburn, Alabama, to be Auburn Tigers. I watched these two young ladies in practice, and younger classmen, most need a little more guidance from the head coach. And these two, Coach, I watch you, and you're very much like, and all the coaches are, very much like a mother figure to these kids. What does it mean to coach these two and two players that we'll have on the show coming up in just a moment?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. You know, it's more than just basketball. I always say this is more than just basketball for us. It's about developing these young ladies. Yakiya is actually 17, but February 14th is her birthday, so she'll be 18. But, developing them from being, teenagers to young adults and teaching them how to navigate in this real world. Right now, they're in a bubble.
Yeah.
Everything is taken care of for them. So it's teaching them, I feel like basketball, we are teaching them how to navigate this world, the real world, which is, sometimes not a pretty place, but how they respond to it is everything. And what I pour into them, I feel like they'll be able to pour back into the world.
It's so encouraging to hear that because it's so easy, especially this time of year. You're in a battle right now in the SEC standings on the bubble for the NCAA tournament. It's so easy to forget what you just said, and Coach, just thank you for that reminder of allowing us to reminder what keeps us grounded, what's important, because it is more than wins and losses. But those things, you do those things right, it leads to more wins and losses.
Absolutely. And one of the things that is really important, shifting back to the K-Yow, we're dedicating this game to Shayna Daniels, who was a former player,
sure,
but a big supporter. When we first got this job and came here, you could tell her passion for Auburn women's basketball, and she was so proud of where she felt like this program was going. So we're dedicating this game to her.
Coach, thank you for sharing that. Looking forward to talking about that on Thursday night, bringing light to her and her family, and looking forward to a good one on Thursday against Kentucky. Coach, thanks for being here tonight. I've got to get Yakiya and Timya on. I know they've got somewhere to be. I've got to get a quick interview in.
Thank you. War Eagle.
Coach, appreciate it. War Eagle. Tigers head coach Johnnie Harris here on the Coach Jay Show out here at Baumhower's Victory Grill on Big Creek Road in Auburn. Glad you could join us tonight here on the Auburn Tigers YouTube page. We're here every Monday night at 6 in the month of February. We're breaking down all the Tigers games from the week before and setting up the week ahead. Auburn's got a huge week this week. Auburn is a game back out of 500 in SEC play. Auburn's got a chance to get to 500 on Thursday night against Kentucky. If Auburn does that, Auburn will have a chance to go on the road on Sunday, get a winning record in SEC play, and have a chance to sweep the Alabama Crimson Tide for the first time in several years. Here on the Coach Jay Show out here at Baumhower's Victory Grill, we welcome in Tiger freshman Yakiya Milton. Yakiya, War Eagle.
War Eagle, how y'all doing?
I need a fist pump after yesterday. That was such a good game for you, Yakiya. Well, walk me through yesterday. I know that was a fun game for you. One that you had an impact at the free throw line, but your defense was, I thought, some of the best defense on the floor yesterday for Auburn. Take me through that block you had in the fourth quarter yesterday.
Yeah, defense has always been my thing, like, since I started playing basketball. Overall, it's just, been something I love. But just coming back from being off 2 games with a little injury, illness type of thing going on, I'm just coming back working hard, trying to do what I can for the team. So I'm just getting what I can, and I'm excited. So.
Well, remind us, where are you from? Where'd you come from?
I'm from Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville, Florida. What high school did you go to?
I went to Mandarin High School.
Mandarin High School. So you were recruited by Coach Jay and her staff, and I watched you. I think this was the first road trip this year, and I was still getting to know you a good bit. I know you're still getting to know us. And I saw you at practice at Rutgers, and you came up, gave Coach Jay just a big hug. And I know she's one that she challenges you game in and game out, day in and day out at practice. What's that relationship like, and why did you choose to play for her and her staff?
Man, she's the first coach to really give me an opportunity to, like, spread my wings, and I'm grateful for that. Regardless of what she say to me, whatever, in the practice, she going to yell, she going to get on me. But she know at the end of the day I'm going to come get that hug after practice. She going to walk off from me. She going to have an attitude.
Yeah.
She don't know I'm coming over there, and I'm going to get my hug every time. So.
Well, I saw that, and like I said, that stuck out to me every single day since. So for you, though, I got a chance to meet some of your family, I think, that traveled to Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Who's your support system? Who do you rely on that keeps you going every day?
Honestly, we're kind of spread out. I got family all over, so, like, I just had family at the game. I just found out from my grandma I had family over there.
Sure.
From my grandpa's side, actually, I didn't even know they were there, but she texted me at the game. She was like, yeah, you had people there, da-da-da. So it's like, wherever I'm going, I'm trying to get some people in my family to support me, but definitely came out in Texas. So.
All right, well, walk me through your playing style. Offense, and you said defense is where you pride your game on. And at 6'4", I like to think you got a little bit of advantage. Who do you model your game after?
I try to say myself, honestly. Everybody's trying to be like,
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's
you're
a good
like
one.
Kevin Durant, or you're long, you're da-da-da. But I want to be my own player. I want to make my own name for myself. I want players that want to be like me. So.
All right, so offense, you play a little bit of 3 and 4, and does she play at the 5 some too? Or
Yeah.
Well, what's your natural position? What do you like the most?
Naturally, I'm my own position. Honestly,
Okay.
I'm long. I can get out there. I can guard, and I'm just trying to expand my game to everywhere she can put me. I'm just trying to do what I can do for the team. So.
Well, and I know you said yesterday you were kind of battling through some adversity the last couple of weeks. I know as a freshman that's not always easy. You answered the bell yesterday when your name was called. Mentally, how hard is that to do, to overcome? Because you're not battling Missouri, you're not battling the opposing team. You got to overcome those personal hurdles that we all face day to day. We just don't like to talk about.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a mental part of it for me. I had to come in there knowing I had to work harder than anybody else out there. I'm trying to work hard in practice because obviously, like, I'm behind. I didn't miss a couple practices. I'm like, I gotta go out there and I just gotta go get it.
Just gotta go.
Just gotta be ready for my name to get called. So.
Well, it was fun to watch you yesterday, and like I said, I love the passion. I saw the excitement, and I saw the smile after that block. We were fired up because that was a huge stop for you yesterday, which brings me to my next question. What's been your favorite game to be a part of this far at Auburn? Because we've had some good ones this year.
I don't even know.
Yeah?
I'm just soaking it all in.
Just in
honestly.
the moment, huh?
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. So.
How about favorite place to travel, favorite road venue, not counting Europe? Europe doesn't count. That's in a whole category within itself.
I would say probably Texas. I like Texas A&M because I had some family out there too, so it was nice for me.
Historic place. That's one of my favorite spots to go. Love to get some good Texas brisket while I'm on the road with my partner Wes here. But for you, I know you work hard every day. I see you love being on the floor. You're a student of the game. What part of your game are you trying to improve the most on right now?
I'm trying to work on expanding more into like being a long guard too. Obviously with the posting up, working with Coach D, working out with the other 5, stuff like that. I'm working on my back to the basket stuff. But being able to put the ball on the floor is something that other 5s might not be able to guard as well, just being a mismatch player overall. So.
Well, what's life at college been like for you this year? First year out of high school. I know you're still 17, about to be 18. What's that been like for you?
I turned 18 in 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days. Hey, and I remember that was the first thing I learned about you is she's the baby. She won't be 18 until February. Well, hey, 18 in 2 days.
Yeah.
How excited are you to celebrate that with your teammates?
I'm very excited. I'm tired of getting called 17, so everybody gonna know I'm grown.
Well, what's your major at Auburn?
Right now I'm majoring in sports medicine.
Okay.
Kinesiology. I'm kind of just all over the place. Honestly, it's changed a lot. I'm into like graphic design and like artistic things too. So I'm just looking forward to anything.
Well, we are so happy you're at Auburn. We're so happy you're an Auburn Tiger. What's your favorite part about being an Auburn student athlete so far?
My favorite part is that it's just family. Wherever you go, you're going to see everybody bleed orange and blue. Wherever you go, it's War Eagle.
Yeah.
When we was out in Europe, people were saying, I'm like, how y'all know about that? Like, but everybody know Auburn. Everybody know it's just a culture. So.
It's contagious. Yakiya, thank you so much. This was awesome. You got to come back on the Coach J show.
Of course.
All right, I need some good defense this week against Kentucky and Alabama. Yeah. I'm gonna have your invite next week, okay? Next Monday night. Yakiya, thank you so much for joining War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Tigers freshman with Yakiya Milton. Her birthday's in 2 days. Everybody wish her a happy birthday. She is the baby on the team for the Tigers, but not for long. She'll be 18 in 2 days, coming off a great game. Great game yesterday against Missouri. Auburn had a huge defensive stand in the fourth quarter time ball game, and Yakiya and her teammates are some of the ones that helped get us back into winning form yesterday. And we have another freshman on the show with us, Miss Timya Thurman, joining the Coach J show for the first time here this season. Timya, War Eagle, how are you tonight?
I'm good.
Hey, I'm so happy you were here because I told you all season. Listen, I know I have to. I talked with Mingo and Honesty some, but you're the only Alabama native on the roster.
Yeah.
To me, that's bonus points. So tell us, where are you from? Remind us what high school you went to.
I'm from Linden, Alabama, and it's Linden High School.
Linden High School. All right, so that's down in southwest Alabama. And I have so much respect for you because I went to a 2A high school in South Alabama as well. 1A, 2A high school athletics, you don't get all the resources that everybody else does. What's that been like for you and your family to be and to carry the pride of Linden High School to this level to Auburn? Because growing up in South Alabama, small town high schools in this state, you're either Auburn or you're Alabama. There's so much pride in that, and I know you feel that each and every day. What's that been like for you?
Honestly, coming from a 1A, you don't get to play like the level that you
Sure.
play now. So it's been really hard to catch up to that kind of level. But I've been doing good. Coach J been getting me ready. Coach D been getting me ready. And, just being able to say that I come from a small town in Linden, it's amazing. I love Linden. And to be able to shout them out, give them, like, a voice or something, like, it's amazing.
Well, I'm from Exo, Alabama, not much bigger than Linden, Alabama. And you were the Class 1A Player of the Year. I know the high school level in 1A is just different than the college level.
Yeah.
What was the biggest adjustment for you in just learning the style of play and then also the physicality as well?
It's really just the speed of the game. I had I played AAU, of course, with Alabama Southern Stars. So I was used to the speed, but
nothing
not
compares
the
you.
same.
Yeah.
So I wasn't ready for the speed of the game, and it was just a lot to learn. I thought, I knew a lot about basketball, but when I got here, I was just I did not know that much. So it was just a lot to learn and catch up on, but I'm doing good.
Well, you mentioned working with Coach D and working with Coach J and this staff. What about them wanted you to come to Auburn? What made you come to Auburn to play for them and to continue to develop?
Really just the coaching staff, especially Coach J.
Yeah.
I met Coach J. Well, she was recruiting me since she was at Mississippi State, and I was in the 7th, 8th grade. And when I went up there for a camp, I got a little one-on-one time with her, and she was the post coach, I think, over there.
Sure.
And she pulled me to the side. We did a little workout, and I was like, I like Coach J.
Yeah.
I love her. And then when she started recruiting me when she got to Auburn, it was like that bond was already connected. So when I came on visits or came to games and stuff, I got to talk with her more, and I was just I love Coach J. I love how she coached, how she what was her plan for Auburn and for the team and all that. I just loved it. I knew she had the best interest for me. So it wasn't really hard to pick it.
How about Coach D? Because I know Coach D from a developmental side, she's your position coach at practice. I love watching you guys. I love watching Coach D because she challenges you all to be the best you can be at all times.
Coach D, like I said, I was behind in a lot of stuff, but she never looked at me like that. She knew, she know what I can do, and she gonna push me to do that every day, and I love that about her.
Yeah, well, and Auburn loves having you because you stepped up against South Carolina just a few weeks ago, and I asked Coach J, Coach, Timya stepped in, and she was giving Camila Cardoso, one of the best centers in the country, all she wanted and more, and she gave credit to you and your preparation on the scout team. She said you were Camila on the scout team. How do you embrace, again, that preparation and then going from Linden, Alabama, and playing against the nation's best in South Carolina?
I just take pride, a player, I give them credit, they can do what they do best. But a player is just a player. I'm going to go out there and play hard regardless.
I love that mentality.
Right.
I love that mentality.
And with the practice team, I just look at it as a good way. I get to learn all they plays. So if I get out there, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly how I'm guarding them. I know exactly what they can and can't do. So I'm going to guard them the best way I can.
So you play the 5. What's the best part of your game in playing the 5 for Auburn, but either offense or defense? What's your go-to?
I really just think it's defense because I'm a big force in the paint.
Sure.
And I plan to be a bigger force, but right now I'm a big force in the paint.
One thing that I was watching against South Carolina, you had some really great looks. I know not as many dropped as you wanted to. I really like your mid-range jump shot. Is that something you've been working on to try to develop?
Yes, I work on that all the time. I was mad it was not hitting that game.
I could tell. I didn't bring it up to ruffle feathers, but it was. I could tell you were comfortable, and that was a shot. You made that shot 100 times in practice, easy.
It's not nothing new because in high school I shot all the time.
Yeah.
So it really just transferred to college, and I do it every day. We do drills where I practice mid-range jumpers, and sometimes I do it while we on the scout team and we just go into transition. So I'm really comfortable with the shot.
Well, speaking of scout team and practice, what was it like practicing against Tawana Bonner a couple weeks ago? I heard DB had some words for some players. She was challenging you guys. Was that fun to experience?
Yeah, well, I wasn't playing against her. I was playing with her.
What was it like playing with her? Yeah, because I asked Taylor what was it like playing against her. What was it like playing with her?
It was cool. You could tell she just knew so much. And she, if I did something wrong, she would correct me, and I'll do it. And she would, encouraging me the whole time. It was really fun.
Well, for you, how do you embrace your role moving forward? Because, again, you've gotten better each and every week. And I know roles game to game, it may change depending on the scout and strengths and weaknesses of both teams. But for you, how do you approach that and just trying to be the best you can be day in and day out? Because you never know when that name will get called again like it did against South Carolina.
Really, I just, like, on the scout team, I do all I can to prepare others. But I also, like, study because while you're on the scout team, while I'm going through them, you know, I miss out on some plays that she, like, rewrite or something like that.
Sure.
I miss out on that. So I would always ask. I would ask my teammates, like, you know, what did she change about that play or something, so I can know. So when I get in, I'm ready. And I always study, like, right before, like, study the plays and the scout and stuff right before the game.
Well, and you got a study partner in Savannah Scott. I see you two all the time. You two are connected at the hip and best friends. What's that friendship been like? Just having another freshman coming in, same position. You know, just so many similarities between the two to be able to bond with and start your Auburn career with.
Yeah, I was, when I came down here, I wasn't sure, like, I would have, like, a best friend or something. But when I met her, it was like we instantly clicked. Yes, I love her.
And Scotty's always got a smile. It's always she's one of the most lighthearted people on the team. She's good company. But also for you, I'll leave you with this. Just growing up in the state, I know the Auburn-Alabama game for the second time this year is coming up on Sunday. What's that rivalry like in Linden? What was that rivalry like for you growing up?
In Linden is not many people that go for Auburn.
Yeah, I figured.
Is not.
Hey, listen, growing up in South Alabama, if you didn't go to Auburn, most people it was 70-30, 80-20 Alabama to Auburn. So if you wear those orange and blue colors, you wear it with pride, and usually you got a connection. What's this one mean to you? Just to play in this state and be 1A player of the year, to be able to play on that level, because I know in this state, everybody dreams in playing in that game, regardless of sport, just one time, and you get to do that on Sunday. What's that like? I'm
really excited. Like, really, I know it's a lot of people coming to that game, like probably my whole family, because it's like an hour away. So I'm just excited. And when I get out there, I know I'm going to be ready. I know I'm going to do my thing. Like, I'm just ready. Well,
Timya, you did great tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and want to wish you all the best for the rest of your freshman season. I speak on behalf of the Auburn family that we're happy you're at Auburn, and we keep working hard. We're excited to see you develop. War Eagle.
War Eagle.
That is Tiger freshman Timya Thurman here on the Coach J Show tonight. We had two spectacular interviews tonight. Yakiya Milton, the freshman from Jacksonville, Florida, joined us, along with Timya Thurman from Linden, Alabama. We've got one more guest tonight here on the Coach J Show. We're going to have Tigers associate head coach, Coach Damitria Buchanan, to join us here momentarily. Coach D has a lot of experience for the Tigers. She kind of helped lay that recruiting blueprint for Auburn when she first got here a couple years ago. This is her third season with Coach J. She's filled in an interim role for a couple games last year as an interim head coach, and has an undefeated record as an interim head coach. Coach D does it all. She's leading practice plans. She's leading our bigs inside. Coach D she's the coach with a plan every single practice. Her and Coach Fred are the two I always go to. Coach D, how you doing tonight? War Eagle.
I'm good, War Eagle. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, Coach D. Glad to have you. I was wondering when I was going to get you on, because I was thinking, I was like, we got I know. Are we beefing?
No, I mean,
okay, because I didn't think we were
off the air.
I didn't think we were beefing, D. I thought
I've been recruiting. I've been doing a little bit of everything like you just
said. Well, that's what I said. Coach D is. I'm not kidding. She's got it going on between recruiting, practice plans, coaching the bigs. Coach, you have your hand pretty much in all parts of this program right now. Let's start with recruiting. You've helped kind of lay that recruiting blueprint for Coach J. This is your third year at Auburn. How has Auburn recruiting, let's say, improved from year one to now, just with it being the difference between year one and year three?
Well, when we first got here, we had to pretty much do a complete overhaul to be able to have a team that plays the way we play, our style of play, that embrace the way we play, and just wanted to compete at the highest level. And so, now we have players that chose us, that we chose, and that's because they believed in our vision. And so now we can kind of focus a little bit more on the specifics versus, okay, we got to go sign a bunch of kids that want to be who we are. So it's been a little easier these last couple of years, and then once these kids see our progress, it really helps us as well.
That's where I was going next. You know, you get a win over LSU, you're continuously trending upward with your results. What is making the NCAA tournament? Again, that goal is still very much in front of Auburn this year. What does that do in recruiting? You've had several years of coaching.
Right.
How can that help a program?
I mean, you know, these kids they know that we know what we're doing.
Sure.
They see the progress. They see the potential. They love us. You know, we're really big on building relationships, and a lot of these kids and their coaches and their parents trust that we're going to get it done. Coach Jay's resume speaks for itself. You know, she's done it at this level for a very long time, and so again, just getting them to trust that process and see that process. You know, being at the LSU game, being at the Alabama game really helped our trajectory in recruiting, just because they were able to see the fans in the stands make a huge difference.
Well, and you've been recruiting since you got into this business. How has it changed now daily, just with the NIL? It's hard for me to follow, and I work with you guys.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges, let's say, what are some of the challenges that you deal with today that maybe didn't exist 4 or 5 years ago?
Well, you know, recruiting is a challenge in and of itself.
Sure.
Just with all of the different, you know, learning the different days and when you can go out and what you can do and when you can talk to them, when you can, and all of that stuff, what you can say. And so now with NIL, you know, technically we're not supposed to be able to talk to them about money. Coaches do it. We do not.
Sure.
But, you know, just being able to navigate that and still being able to compete against some people who are out here maybe not following the rules exactly to the T, as we've been trained well by our compliance staff here to do. So that's probably the biggest challenge right now, is understanding how other people are navigating this NIL space and us being able to compete legally in that regard.
Well, we appreciate what you do recruiting. We clearly see the impacts that you have, Coach Jay and the staff have week in and week out, and it's showing. But when you're not recruiting, you're leading some team drills at practice. I love going to practice. I love watching you work the bigs inside, and mostly because I see how much you love on them and I see how much you challenge them to be their very best. How much pride do you take in that day in and day out and working with that small group of players on the team?
Well, you know, I compete in everything I do. I want our post players to be just as competitive. I want them to win every drill. I want them to be louder than the guards when we break. I want them to set physical screens. You know, even if it is your team, you know, you need to go out there and you need to practice being physical. And so just trying to get them to grasp that. And this group is my best post group so far. I mean, they really embrace the competitiveness, the physicality. They can take hard coaching. They'll laugh at me and be like, Coach D, girl, like, Scotty will say, you hurt my feelings. I'm like, girl, I didn't hurt your feelings. But, you know, they laugh at, you know, hard coaching versus, you know, take things personal. And so we've been able to grow. We've been able to challenge each other. And this group of girls is special.
Well, and watching you and your style, you have a way of being candid and transparent to challenge it. No, and I say that as a compliment.
I like the word candid.
Well, because but Coach D, listen.
Some people say blunt.
Listen, blunt, candid, whatever. I'm blunt too with my students on campus. Just ask them. But I say that like we live in a world today where that's not always expected and it's not always appreciated.
Right.
If you can take that kind of coaching, and there's a lot of respect in there too. You never cross that line,
right?
But that's your style, and your players buy into that. Where did that style come from for you? And I love that style, by the way.
My family is pretty candid. I mean, I grew up in a space where they'll tell you when you look good, tell you when you don't, tell you when you did well, tell you when you didn't.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing I value in relationships, period, is just authenticity.
Sure.
And being told the truth.
That's why I asked you if we were beefing. I knew you'd tell me.
If we were beefing, you would know
I knew you'd tell me. But you touched on that younger core. Man, you see Yakiya and Timya just in 3 months, how much they've grown. You throw Scotty in there, and then you get your upperclassmen in there with O and also Talon. how fun has it been to coach this group just with the depth, knowing you got options? Because guess what? All 5 of those kids are playing. I probably missed somebody, too.
Yeah, it's Duhan's in my group sometimes. Celia's in my group sometimes.
In your time. Yep.
But my core group, we call our big girls big cheetahs.
Okay.
And then Celia, Duhan, and Taylor are the medium cheetahs. Okay. They're not necessarily big girls, but they play in that spot. So they may be, fake post players, that's what I call them. But they're really good kids, and I appreciate every day being able to help them grow, and they help me grow as well.
Well, I can tell you that they respect you. We see it day in and day out, and we see the improvement, again, that you've been able to have with that group of players. But also I want to take a moment to remind everybody, you got a chance to act as the interim head coach for a couple games last year. 2-0, I might add, and that protected that unblemished record from your middle school coaching days.
I know, right?
That was one of my favorite stats of all of last year. When did you coach middle school basketball?
Oh, 2011. Was it? No, it was 2010 to 2011.
Now, were you able to be as candid with the middle schoolers, or were they more candid with you?
I can tell you I got in trouble a couple of times, but those kids loved me, and I loved them. They were a tough group of kids that really worked hard, and again, just helped as far as helping me grow as a coach. What to say, what not to say, how to say it, and all those type of things. But at the end of the day, those girls went out and competed every day, and they gave me all they had.
Well, I say this jokingly. I hope it's not anytime soon, but no, seeing you, in all seriousness, you have all the traits and all the qualities to be a head coach one day. Is that something you've always aspired to be, something you hope to pursue one day?
Not always.
Not always,
I aspired to do that, no. Honestly, since being here, it's kind of Coach Jay has opened up that door for me and putting me in situations that I have not ever been put in before, to help me to see that I could be good at it and give me confidence that I could do it. And so since being here, it's definitely helped me, change my aspirations of what I wanted to do in this career, and being a head coach is definitely one of them now.
Well, the last, I would say, tool that you're going to have in play for Auburn this week, again, you're like a Swiss Army knife. You do everything. You got the scout on Kentucky this week. They're 9-15, 2-8 in the SEC. But there's an unspoken rule, and I think we take it for granted sometimes. You can't go by records, because if you overlook a team, you'll show up, you'll get beat. Just ask Coach Jay's teams your first year in Auburn. Ask a couple of those teams. Why should Auburn fans not overlook Kentucky, Coach?
I just think that this league is competitive. On any given night, our best players could be off. Their best players could be on. You just never know. You have to really rely on your entire team effort to show up consistently. And I think our last win at Missouri kind of helped with our confidence. I know we've spoken on this show about the tough losses that we've had, but kind of getting over that hump and being able to beat Missouri, hopefully that momentum carries over. But no, you can't overlook anybody in our league. I mean, everybody's playing in the SEC because they're good enough.
Well, the one thing that looking at the numbers that I hope trends in Auburn's direction is that they do average 16 turnovers a game offensively. They do average 65 points. Petty's really good, top 5 in field goal percentage, and then the Scher kid, the Oregon transfer, is really good on the perimeter. Give us a brief scout of some looks you'll see on the offensive end from Kentucky.
Well, of course, Petty, Scher, and Nia Russell is a huge scoring option for them off the bench. They have a good shooter in number 2, Tyler, as well. So they can different people can really play well for them, and so it's going to be a matter of us taking away what they really want to do, which of course is to get it inside. That matchup between Petty and our post players is going to be key in trying to limit her touches.
Well, they gave Mississippi State a pretty good Mississippi State team a run for their money a couple games ago. What will they do defensively to try to disrupt Auburn? Because again, Kentucky, every game I've seen, they've been feisty in SEC play.
I mean, they're a hard team to prepare for because they do so many different things defensively. They guard ball screens differently. They may 2-2-1 press you into a 2-3 zone. They may man press you and run and jump. They may hard hedge on ball screens. They may trap on, but so it's a lot of different things you have to try to get ready for in a short amount of time. So for us, our challenge is going to be getting our kids focused and locked in to be able to see multiple things in the game and how to guard and how to not guard, but how to handle those different things.
Well, you got Alabama on Sunday, and there you throw in Texas A&M and LSU in the coming weeks. This is the first time you'll play opponent twice. What's different in going into a game for a second time versus that first matchup?
Well, you get to see the mistakes you made the first time. Since we've been here in our first 2 years, playing people the second time around was always our better game. Our staff does a really good job of teaching and showing, hey, if you had seen this or if this happens, then, when our kids, they like to watch themselves on film more than they like to watch other people. So being able for them to see themselves versus that team kind of gives them the tools necessary the second time to make the required adjustments to be successful.
Forgive me, I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but Alabama's point guard had a pretty good game against Auburn a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And how much how much of a focal point will she be in getting ready for them on Sunday? Again, good ball player, and Alabama's a team that's been trending up since Auburn played.
Now, Bri, I don't know why you asked me about Alabama when Kentucky is my scout.
Listen, Coach D, I was trying to set up the week ahead. I know we already played Alabama, so I'm thinking a coach as well versed as Coach D.
One game at a time. I don't want to. You said we shouldn't overlook Kentucky.
Don't overlook,
so I'm not going to overlook Kentucky.
But
yes, Alabama's guard and Timmons. Nye has been playing very well. Nye had she can shoot the pill out of the ball, as Coach Katera says, and what she got from Big Schaefer. Just being able to contain those guards is going to be – Alabama's a good team. You look and you see all the stuff, all the great players that they lost last year, and they just keep coming. And so, again, just being able for us to look at that first game and see the necessary adjustments we're going to have to make for the second game is going to be important.
Well, I know Auburn's still got to go out and execute, and it's going to be a tough 3 weeks, but it's going to be an exciting 3 weeks, Coach D. There's more excitement around this time of the season than any time in the last.
You have something to play for.
Yeah, have something to play for. I was going to ask you, how do you approach that mentality going into this stretch?
Our margin of error is very small, and so just getting them to lock in for the entire time, every possession, every minute in practice, every drill in practice is going to be important right now because everybody's trying to play for something, regardless of if it's, Kentucky just trying to get that win that they desperately need right now.
And we've been there.
Yeah, we've been there, and we're still there.
Yeah.
We need to win games to be able to go to the NCAA tournament. Right now, we're last 4 in, I think.
Yeah.
Which is great, being where we've come from. So it's just everybody right now wants something. We've got to want it more than our opponent.
Well, Coach D, appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see you Thursday night and get a big win. War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Tigers Associate Head Coach Damitria Buchanan wrapping us up here tonight on the Coach Jay Show out here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. Our next broadcast is Thursday, February 12th at 5:45 Central. Auburn is back home for the first time in 2 weeks to take on the Kentucky Wildcats. Tip-off for that one set for 6 p.m. on AU 100, 100.3 FM, and the Auburn Tigers app. 1 week from tonight, the Coach Jay Show returns to Baumhower's Victory Grill at 6. If you can't join us at Baumhower's, tune in right here on the Auburn Tigers YouTube page. For Coach Jay, Yakiya, Milton, Timya, Thurman, Coach Damitria Buchanan, and Wes Todd, I'm Rib Bowen. Good night and War Eagle from Baumhower's Victory Grill.